So my name's Tim Crossley. I'm the Managing Director of a company called Adderton Resources Corporation. It's a Toronto Ventures Exchange listed company, but all our assets are focused on in PNG, Papua New Guinea. Yeah, look, our company flagship project's a project that we call Feni Island. Why we consider it a flagship is just because of it's an amazing discovery zone globally where Feni Island exists. It's part of an island chain in PNG where there's already 3 globally significant discoveries of projects that have been in operations. There's a mine called Simberi, 8 million ounces. There's a mine called Lahir, about 80 million ounces. There's our project, which is currently just in its formative stage, 1.5 million ounces. And then you go down the island chain to the amazing Panguna mine, which is a huge copper gold porphyry. So we're in this incredible mineralised rich discovery zone, and I guess that's why we're so excited about the opportunities that Feni present to us. We've done a lot of exploration in 2021, and we've been processing that data. Just to give you an example, on Feni Island, we did a 4-hole program. I think the first hole was 185 metres of just under 1 gram gold from surface, but the real interest in Feni that's just got us so much more excited than we probably already were was the 4th hole we drilled. We hit 40 metres of 0.3% copper, 1.1 gram gold, and then a huge copper intercept of just under 7 metres of 5.2% copper. So this has brought a whole new dimension to Feni, where previously we've only really looked at Feni as a gold rich, but we're now seeing it as both a copper and a gold target. And we've then gone back and had a look at some of the previous historical data and realised actually a lot of the previous drillers didn't even analyse for copper, but where they did, there's half a dozen holes where there's also significant copper intercepts as well. So that's just telling us that we've actually got a very interesting mineralised system that's probably different to the giant Lahir mine, which is actually a gold deposit, and possibly a hybrid between Lahir and the Panguna mine, which is on the other side of us, which is a copper gold deposit. It's just a hugely important part of doing business anywhere in the world, but I would say on a scale higher in Papua New Guinea. Look, I've spent a whole week on Feni Island, for example, going to every single village with my geologists, doing presentation, doing awareness, what's mining, what's exploration, what could a project look like, what would the benefits that would flow on to you as a community. That's on Feni. On Ferguson, literally a week and a half ago I was on Ferguson Island doing awareness to the villages on that island, which is our second project. You just don't forget about doing business in PNG unless you are intimately working with the local community from the first time you step on their land. It's the baseline of everything you do. You don't get that right, you don't get a project moving. Simple. We're reasonably well financed at the moment. We've just signed a joint venture with a Chinese company which is at the asset level. It's not at the listed company level, so it's at the subsidiary company level. That'll actually bring $9.5 million US into the company. So that effectively funds those projects through to cash flow without us having to tap back into shareholders for $1. We've got a clear financing pathway to cash flow through that JV agreement. Firstly, $9.5 million to get us through feasibility, project approvals, mining lease application and submissions, environment permits, and then they will have also committed to provide a debt funding piece to fund the actual development of the project. So really that provides a pathway to cash flow for that project. On Feni, look, at some stage we may want to raise capital on the capital markets to fund our next exploration project. It could be that, or maybe we look at another JV deal or a placement to a strategic. We'll assess the options based on what our capital needs are and what we think is the best way to do it for our investors and shareholders. We're just in an amazing discovery part of the world in terms of mineralisation. So that's the first point. I think as an investor coming in today, you've got this floor in the value of the company through our JV with the Chinese, We've got a foundation inventory of minerals already. It's not like we're still looking. We found them. It's about growing that mineral inventory over what we've got now. So we've got 2.175 million ounces of 43101 compliant resources. We've got the incredible copper discoveries that we've got on Fenny. So for me, thinking about how an investor should think about Adderton, of which I am one and one of the major shareholders, so I think very much like an investor, it's, you know, you've got the downside protection of the JV with our Chinese partners, and then you've got this incredible upside of discovery potential at Fenny, given the location of Fenny Island. Now, what could Fenny be? Could it be another Lahire, 60, 80 million ounce project? Possibly. The worst case scenario, you don't know, but Simberi, the other island in the island chain, is a 5 to 8 million ounce deposit. So the upside is huge, you know, from where we are today, with almost zero downside. That's sort of how I think about it, and why I say, like, nothing's ever zero, but it's such a small downside because you've got the protection of the JV, funded JV with a trusted Chinese partner. Obviously, the foundation of being a successful business in PNG, you literally cannot think that you're just going to walk into your tenement area in PNG without having a very close engagement strategy with the community. And like, for example, on Fenny, like, we've spent a whole week on that island doing community awareness. We continue to do that whenever we go back on the island and do exploration. It's just, it's an underpinning of anything that you might do in PNG, as it really is anywhere else in the world. But, you know, you're going on to people's land where it's their livelihood. They're living off the land, and you're now wanting to do exploration or potentially build a mine. So you've got to bring them along on that journey with you, because you go there and you disrupt their land and their lifestyle, they're not going to be happy. So you actually need to be working with them and tell them how you're going to benefit them from where they are today, how you're going to make their life for them now, for their kids, their grandkids, better by the development of your project.